Hi everyone. The problem we are dealing over here regarding the quotation generation for our clients who come to us for the cloud migration. And right now, the quotation generation process is manual and time consuming and dependent heavily on the senior consultants. So it takes a lot of time, sometimes more than a week, to generate a quotation. And if there is some changes required in that quotation, then we need to take a longer duration to give a turnaround to our customers. That is the problem what we identified, and due to this manual process the quotations are inconsistent. So for different customers the quotations range are different, the pricings are different, the commercial risk and marginal risk also different because we are unable to give them a streamlined quotation for our customers. So let's do the task analysis, or how the event flows from generation of lead to conversion. So once the sales lead has been generated or it is created in our system, so it's just trigger. So the first action we'll do, we get the customer details. By connecting with them, having a call with them, we go and collect what are the requirements of them, what are the system requirements of them, the minimum set of requirements we collect from them. And after that we do a feasibility analysis, like whether the migration can take place and how much profitability this project has. After that we need to do the decision check, like whether to move ahead or decline the process. After that we identify the number of consultants required to do the estimation or and create the quotation. Once we have identified the number of consultants required, then we ask them to create a quotation based upon their knowledge, their expertise, and with the help of Excel based tool and from the past experiences of the migration projects, they create a quotation, and it takes a lot of time. A lot of time means it sometimes takes a weeks long of time. And after that we send for the quotation verification for our expert sales lead who verify the quotation, and we pitch to the customers like this is the quotation we have created and this is the pricing it's gonna cost you in it roughly. And sometimes the customer doesn't agree with something, or they want to change something, or they want to upsell or upgrade. In that case we need to go back to this action phase again, and it takes around the same time, I mean around 5 to 7 working days to create the quotation. So that's a literally a big overhead, and here the competitors are pitching in their products and selling it off, and we are losing our customers. So we thought of addressing this issue over here. And from the task analysis, what we find it out, the target customers are the pitch sales consultants, the cloud architects, the solution consultants, and sales engineers. Those are the mainly are involved in sale from the lead to conversion journey of a customer. So the action they I didn't what they're doing, they're creating quotations manually, and it is experience driven rather than a set of tool or set of rules are there to create the quotation for them. So it's all about ad hoc measurements and spreadsheet how they create quotations. So we are heavily dependent upon our senior experts. Let's say one of the senior expert quit, or he's on leave, or he's not available, then it is very difficult to get the quotation updated or changed according to customer demand. So the gap is a phenomenon, like we you can see a huge gap over here, and we can push out a new tool or a machine learning based model which can give a realistic quote, or it will act as indicative price, and it will help our consultants to create or to change the quotations as per the quotations created from our system. Here is the user experience design what we have created. For the user perspective, the user can interact with the tool based model. It should be like a form where the user will input all the customer details collected from the customers in the lead generation process. Then he asked to select the what margin we want to get it for this particular customer. So we have a margin set, so based on the margin set he has to put a margin. Then he inputs the number of migration consultants. It can be auto picked up, like it can be automatically generated, or we can have the option to manually input the number of migration consultants in that. Then click on generation button, and it will generate a rough quotation. In that rough quotation phrase, user is allowed to do any changes based upon his knowledge or her knowledge, particularly about the customers or their experiences. After the overridden has been done, then he can fix it up, or you can set, I'll say, boss, I'm done with the updates, and now you can generate the final quotation of that one. Once he does that, a final detailed quotation with a breakdown and a confidence scoring, uh, and the scoring has to be displayed over here, and the prices are range based rather than a fixed price, so that it should be indicative rather than a definite number. Then the user can generate a PDF or Word version of it, so that he can export it and create his presentations or quotations or pitching deck from that. The user inputs and feedback loops are the inputs from the whatever we have collected from the customers has to be put in a form based model or form based UI. Then another detailed tab is present how the fields are relevant, and what data or what is the field is meant by, and detailed FAQ sessions, like frequently asked sessions is there to understand the tool. Uh, Also, after that, once the quotation has been generated, after a week or so, we start sending the automated email to check whether the generated quotation with the generated quotation, the conversion actually happened or not. If it is not happened, we just trigger that, or we update our model based upon the feedback of the users. Here, the transparency and uncertainty has been handled. Like we clearly mention the indicative price, it is an indicative price, not a definite price. User sign is mandatory whenever we are sending a quotation to customers, so we can directly send the machine generated quotation directly to the customers. We have implemented confidence scoring, like how confident our model is about the generated quotation for our customers. In the final page, we have a detailed explanation, like why the model created this kind of caustic structure or this kind of quotation, and it's always in a range based model. And lastly, we have terms and conditions, like what are the limitations of our model, and what might go wrong, and what we have handled, it is also mentioned in the terms and condition. Here are few privacy considerations when we have developed this model. First one is indirect identification risk, like with the patterns, with the infrastructure details, sometimes it is identifiable, like which customer it is. Then another is commercial sensitivity, like the cost estimates and effort assumptions and the rate data are sensitive business informations. They are really private to a customer, so we can't leak that data, or we can't reveal that data to other customers. Another one is secondary use risk. Historical project data used in training the model must not use beyond the original business purposes. Like we can't use that, giving a pricing comparison to our customers. Over collection of data risk, like sometimes we are collecting too much of telemetry regarding our tool, so it can be accidentally capture unnecessary data from our customers, so we must avoid that. Here are key privacy related concerns, like what privacy measures we should take, rules we should measure or we should take into account. First one is GDPR. It is from the EU and EMEA region. Then CCPA, it is for the USA. It is standard data protection law. What it has to be applicable. Then there should be a no disclosure agreement. NDA should be signed with the customers so that we can use their data. Here are a few ethical considerations, and the potential bias can be introduced in our machine. First one is the bias from training data. We may not have a wide range of data to train our model to cater the all the segments of users. Then model bias. Sometimes the hyperscalers like Google GCP or AWS, they might change their pricing, so our model may not be relevant. And there might be some companies or the hyperscaler might develop an automated tool which can automatically help the customers to migrate to their applications with a minimal cost, and that cost can be calculated over here. That is a limitations for our model. Then there is a feedback loop bias. Maybe the end user may not provide the feedback after the quotation generation, like whether there is a conversion or there is a churn with regarding that customer, whether they are converted or not. There are three other ethical considerations as well, like how we have maintained fairness in our model, in our application. We thoroughly test and periodic feedback on a model, like how it is performing, like if it is generating a wrong uh, quotation or a different or a output, then we periodically give feedback from our expert consultants, and also make it tested by our expert consultants, so that the model should get to know which is right and which is wrong in that segment. We try to collect variety of data, like we try to collect data from each customer groups, so that the model can be trained accordingly. So for accountability, we made human in loop systems, so the human are the final approvers rather than machine making the decisions. We clearly communicate the prices are indicative. This is not the final price, and we have kill switch mechanism. If the model performance is below the threshold, then we start the generation, and we ask the customer, our end users, to generate the quotations of their own. And for the transparency, we have a clear description of each estimation generated, like why the model created this estimation, and what are the price breaking of that particular quotation generated, so that the end user must be having a great idea, like why the price is like this. So we have a transparent model over that. And we also explain our end users with multiple trainings and sessions, like which features are being used and which features are really important to create this kind of quotation generation. So they have the idea how the model is creating this quotation. And with this, we're closing the presentations, and just let us know your feedback, how you like it, and how like our approach to solve the problem. Thank you so much, everyone.